Good afternoon, everybody. I have a short report for you today. Our occupancy level is 94% in independent living. We have many new residents moving in the next few months. 5 are scheduled to move in the month of October. 1 new family is scheduled to move in November, and 5 more families will be moving in the month of December. I'm fairly confident that January and February will be just as busy because we've already had 2 inquiries about moving in the month of January. Update on clinic renovations. Our dentist, Dr. Palmore, was able to see residents in her new office space today in assisted living. The clinic renovations are progressing nicely with everything on schedule to wrap up the week before Thanksgiving. Specific dates about the reopening of our new place at the clinic will be shared within the next couple of weeks. I did take a sneak peek preview the other day and everything is looking so much better than it did before that I'm really excited, and I know that you all will be when we have that space as well. Assisted living elevator update. Many of you have heard by now that the elevator in assisted living is down. We have been working with the elevator company to locate parts for the repair, and they have been ordered. Elevator issues have become more complex to fix over the last few recent years because a good number of parts for elevators are manufactured in the Ukraine. We will keep residents updated on channel 974, and there are signs posted throughout the 3rd floor assisted living providing directional assistance to get to the memory care center. If there's anybody who may need help getting to the memory care center, they can call the nurses station and ask for assistance or stop someone in the hallway. EIFS and window replacement update. The project is moving along as planned. We continue to work with James River Exteriors to make adjustments as they sometimes run into weather difficulties and also have encountered some delays in engineering inspections. Work will temporarily end the week before Thanksgiving and will pick up again the first week of the new year. Medicare. We are now actively accepting Medicare in our Poppy Place neighborhood. If you know of anyone who might need a short rehab stay after a hospitalization, please tell them to keep us in mind. We currently are accepting Medicare stays and still have about 9 vacant rooms right now to service more residents. As you all well know, we have a number of rooms that will always be reserved for our in-house residents, and we're meeting on a daily basis to ensure that we have space for everybody. Signage. Thank you to all the residents who have helped with our signage project over the last few years. The first phase of the project was wrapped up and exterior signs have been going up all around campus. I've heard good things from residents. Interior signs will be installed as soon as they arrive, and we anticipate the interior signs going up before Thanksgiving. Live streaming. Our frustrations with live streaming continue, with Comcast and our hired contractor both blaming each other for the problem. We have now hired an outside consultant to get to the bottom of the issue and ensure that we are proceeding in the right way with making the rectifications to make it work okay. I apologize to all who have been inconvenienced by this. It's on the top of my list and something that I ask for updates almost on a daily basis. As soon as I have more news to share, I will make sure that that goes out either in a memo or on channel 974. And lastly, our new philanthropy director, Betsy Pollard, has officially joined our team and will spend the next few months learning about our residents and our culture here at Cedarfield. We are so excited to have her with us, and I know our community will welcome her with open arms. We will be holding a meet and greet for Betsy within the next few weeks, so please join us after the meeting by sticking around and introducing yourself to her. I believe she's in the back of the room. Is she in the back of the room? She will be in the back of the room by the end of the meeting. We have scheduled her for the last few days, every 30 minutes with different people around campus, and something tells me she might have gotten a little tied up with her last person. I'll stick around as well at the end of the meeting if there are any questions that come up. Is there a question now? Yes?
Are all the hospitals notified about our Medicare?
Yes. Hospitals have been notified informally through conversations, and we've put together a written communication for hospitals as well. As you know, and I've shared in previous meetings, first and foremost, our obligation are to residents here on campus who might need those beds, and then to our sister communities, the Hermitage communities, and we're reaching out to those social workers on a daily basis just in case a need arises within one of those campuses. Any other questions? Thank you all.
Invocation, Grace Ann.
Thank you. When I was asked to do the invocation today, I went through some of my old drawers and found some interesting items, and I'm going to share one of those with you today. And you can tell by one of the items listed that it is an old saying. No one will ever get out of this world alive except an astronaut. Resolve, therefore, to maintain a reasonable sense of values. Take care of yourself. Good health is everyone's major source of wealth. Without it, happiness is almost impossible. Resolve to be cheerful and helpful. People will repay you in kind. Avoid angry, abrasive people. They are generally vengeful. Avoid zealots. They are generally humorless. Resolve to listen more and to talk less. No one ever learns anything by talking. Be clary of giving advice. Wise men don't need it, and fools won't heed it. Resolve to be tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the wrong. Sometime in life, you will have been all of these. Do not equate money with success. There are many successful money makers who are miserable failures as human beings. What counts most about success is how a person achieves it. Thank you.
Pat Sullivan, and so you bringing Paul up with Paul Springman to talk about the team gift?
We've tried to give everyone a Share the Story flyer as you came in, and I hope you've also seen it on 974. Paul and I thought that for this year's team member holiday gift campaign that it might be helpful to share some of the stories that we as residents often tell each other about times when a team member went way beyond expectations to help us when we really needed it. So I'm hopeful that you will send me some of your stories so that I can share them. Some people have called to tell me their story, and others have emailed. Either is fine. I'd like to share several that I have already received. I had a test scheduled for 5:15 p.m. at the downtown campus of VCU. The test normally took 2 hours, and we had scheduled Cedarfield transportation. Unfortunately, there was difficulty establishing the intravenous line required for the test, and 2 hours became 3 hours. We finally arrived back at Cedarfield after 8:30 p.m. The concierge desk had kept us in contact, and the driver who sat in the car in the VCU parking lot. As the lot emptied and that part of the campus became deserted and darkness fell. The driver was so considerate and patient, and we were spared having to use public transportation. A team member went above and beyond her job description when she heard from me that I was not sleeping at night while residing in Poppy Place. She gave my permission to enter my apartment. She single-handedly put my recliner on a flatbed and delivered it to me because the 2 maintenance men were out sick. I was flabbergasted she did this for me. I was so grateful. I slept soundly and restfully each night. I will always remember this act of kindness. And finally, I was seated at the dining table recently when one of my dining companions suddenly died. I was so unbelievably shocked and distraught that my whole body was shaking. A team member immediately saw the condition I was in and rushed to my side, seating herself beside me and holding my hand until I could become quieted enough to leave the dining room. Even though she had finished her work shift, she walked with me to my apartment and stayed with me for quite a while until she was sure that I was going to be okay to be alone. I will never forget her kindness. I think you can see from these stories that our team members not only care for us, but also care about us. Our holiday gift is one way that we can let them know that we understand them.
Thank you, Pat, and thank you, Frank, for the opportunity to speak for just a couple of minutes today. We've heard some just wonderful stories from Pat. We're looking for more, so if you have some, as Pat said, contact her either by telephone or via email. As luck would have it, a couple of weeks ago, I ran across an article, and it gave the top 10 reasons why people give to certain causes. And I'm not going to share all 10 of them with you, but I thought that the top 3 really spoke to me personally. Number 1, people say it's the right thing to do. Number 2, either I know the people that are involved or their particular cause has impacted me or my family. And number 3, giving makes me feel good. Well, just yesterday, Nancy ran across a piece that she shared with me. Lo and behold, in 2008, the UCLA Mindfulness Awareness Research Center conducted a study on how giving and how gratitude actually affects our health and our brain. And what they found in more than 1,000 different participants in this study over a period of several months, that researchers were actually able to measure an increase in brain activity that boosted both serotonin and dopamine, both chemicals that send positive effects to our mental health. So in addition to doing the right thing, and in addition to knowing the people that are involved in our team member holiday gift drive, it makes us feel good to give. So I have just one slide to share with you today. Since we were given the opportunity a few weeks ago to speak at the last town hall meeting, the number one question I have received, especially from new residents, is what should I give? What is an appropriate amount to give? And unfortunately, there's no single one right answer. There's no right answer at all. You have to give what makes you feel good and what you think is the right thing, and because you know the people that are involved. But I started to do a little math and I did a little research that the average cost of a dinner in our dining room is roughly $25. Now, That depends on, you know, the number of desserts you might eat or the number of cocktails you might enjoy before, after, during, whatever. But it's roughly $25. And if you were, let's say, as the vast majority of our residents are, in the daily or in the 30 meal a month allowance program, if you were to tip just 15%, which in these days is considered sort of the minimum for just average service, just your dining room gratuities over a period of 12 months would add up to $1,350. But I dare say in this group, if it was your favorite restaurant, or if you had your regular table, or if your drink was waiting for you when you sat down, or if you got greeted with a warm, friendly smile, and perhaps greeted by name, a lot of us would probably tip 20%, or maybe even more. And 20% in that, using that same math, actually produces a number of $1,800. Now, not everyone's on the meal plan, but virtually everyone takes advantage of other services that Cedarfield has to offer. And I just listed a handful of them here. Our housekeeping consistently gets good remarks. Our maintenance folks are extremely responsive. Who hasn't enjoyed the services that you receive from our concierge desk? And the medical transportation that Pat just referenced in the story with one of our other residents is virtually priceless. When we think about our holiday gifts, we don't offer any of these people. We are precluded from giving any of these people gratuities during the year. And this is the one time in the year we can show them our gratitude and give them a very meaningful gift. I'll just close with one brief little apology. We started our series on 974 Community Channel this week, and we may have confused a few folks that already showed up with checks at the concierge desk. The boxes, at least till the end of the month of October, are earmarked for the Alzheimer Walk and the Alzheimer Cause, but our boxes will be there in all of the regular locations throughout the campus from November 1st, Friday the 1st, till Friday the 29th of November. Next week, there will be a hard copy in your mailboxes or in your cottage mailboxes explaining where the contribution boxes will be located and a little bit more about the history of the program. In the interest of time, I'm not going to take any questions today, but Pat and I will be happy to stick around and visit with any and all of you after the meeting. Thanks again, Frank.
Thank you, Pat and Paul. If anyone hasn't seen these stories in the page 41 of the Informer, read them. They tell you what our gift, your gift, is doing for some of the people that work here. And hopefully there'll be more of those. Will there not, Pat? There'll be more of those stories. All right. Everybody should have a copy of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
A second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Well, thank you. Any opposed? All right, the next bit of business is, according to the bylaws, in October of each year, it is up to the president to appoint a nominating committee for next year. That nominating committee will be picking the president-elect and the secretary-elect. So I have appointed, it also says that there must be a past president on that committee. I have appointed Ann Williams, Denise Bakula, and Don Branson. That might be my nominations. It also says that I need the approval of the residents' council. So I have to make the nomination. I would be willing to receive a motion to approve the nominations. Second? All in favor? Perfect, thank you. That takes care of that. Next is Cedar Chest, Denise. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Cedar Chest continues to thrive both in sales and generous donations of clothing and household items. We are grateful to everyone who continues to support the Cedar Chest. Okay, get ready for another furniture auction beginning this Friday, going through till Wednesday. And it's going to take place in apartment 282 on the D Wing. Decorate your home with beautiful donations we have received by placing your best bid for furniture, art, lamps, and more, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Vacker, Bob State.
Good afternoon, friends. Charlotte Bailey, president of the Vacker Group, had asked me to give you this report. On our last October meeting, we had Dr. Douglas Thorpe, PhD. He's a licensed professional counselor, psychotherapist, ordained minister, and he is the executive director of the Virginia Institute of Pastoral Care. His topic was seniors and stress. I think everyone enjoyed that. This coming Friday, October 25th at 10 o'clock, in the Prima Club Room, we'll have the VACRA annual fall meeting. It will be a Zoom meeting and will feature Tommy Brewer, who is a managing director in the Senior Living Finance practice of Ziegler. He covers the Mid-Atlantic and Southeastern states. And the topic of his speech is current trends impacting CCRCs. That's an important one and should be very interesting. So the next couple of dates for VACRA will be 2 dates in November. November 15th, we thank the membership and we'll have a breakfast, a light breakfast, music, prizes, and should be fun. So 10 o'clock in the Fellowship Hall, November 15th. This is for members. Then the next week, we'll have a business meeting for members. It will be for electing officers and voting on amended and restated bylaws for the Cedarfield Continuing Care Residents Association. This is also a members only meeting. So the 2 meetings in November are both in the Fellowship Hall at 10 o'clock. And both are for members. So if you're not a member of VACRA and would like to attend these November meetings, I have a secret phrase I will share with you and just all y'all. Please give me a membership form. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee reports. Jim Farrell, I think you're first. Diney.
Good afternoon. I'll be hopefully brief and speak to the primary topics for the committee. In the minutes you will have noted capital projects. Under that topic, Clubhouse, we are nearing completion of the refurbishing, upgrade, etc. And Christine Mott, who was primarily involved in heading the residents aspect, if you will, of those efforts, is trying to wrap everything up. One of the things which has evolved, because we are noting a bit of increased usage, which we're grateful for, and we should all be thankful for that. But there does not seem to be an established sort of rules and procedures. So we've asked Neil if he would develop a rules and procedures paper. Hopefully one page which we can laminate, have available to whomever wishes to use the facility. And the reason really we are very concerned about that is, as you might imagine, there are many departments for whom we expect some either help, support, participation when it is utilized. Dining, housekeeping, maintenance, wellness, and you could almost go on. That needs to be clarified, because we've had, let's say, a group followed a following day, and when they entered in the afternoon to start and set up for their function, they discovered an array of where the tables were located, cushions array, and you could go on and on. So obviously, those need to be coordinated so that the utilization will be smooth and everybody will be satisfied. So we look forward to that. With the matter of cocktail lounge, as you may recall, we conducted a survey at the beginning of the year, and that resulted in a 63-37 favorable study report. We've asked Marta Giannoni if she would drive a subcommittee, if you will, of our committee and touch the appropriate bases to see whether we can get this to be an initiative, get it off dead center. One of the groups, obviously, that she intends to have her committee meet is marketing, to glean some feel for inquiry on the part of prospective residents and or the community at large about the attractiveness or issues that might come up relative to consideration of such. Destination dining, as you probably know, is moving along, and one of the things that the committee wanted to encourage all of us to keep in mind is that certainly the first 2 days of a destination, I hope, or we hope, that the surveys which have been developed are on either your table or at the hostess's desk. And we encourage you, at least for those initial days, to respond so that the staff gets a reaction, hopefully not all critically critical, but a blend of good and bad, if you will. And furthermore, along the process of the duration of that particular destination, have it been New Orleans or Germany or whatever, remember that there are surveys, other survey sheets available, and one can be available and obtained from the hostesses at any time. I can't, encourage you enough. We need to be responsive, because while it is a goal, certainly, to have this as a dining initiative, we want to make sure that you and your friends, associates, whomever participates, gives dining a sense of your pleasure, your concern, your interest. One of the matters which we've mentioned in the past, and which I encourage you to keep in the back of your heads, is, it's an evolving, measured initiative. Namely, dining staff wants to know what we like and don't like. They are going to be evaluating the length of, let's say, a destination, be it 1 week, 2 weeks, however long. And your observations would be of value. So please keep that also in the back of your mind as you are evaluating as we go along. I wanted to point out that the new executive chef, Seth Goulston, has been an absolute delight. I don't know whether many of you have had an opportunity to either interact with him or see him at work. Last week he was shucking oysters at a function at the clubhouse, and I had to commend him. Not being a Tidewater soul, he certainly was performing rather well. So we were trying to figure out where he gained his experience. Staffing seems to be at a reasonable balance level at the moment. No particular issues other than the little moments when we need to catch up when somebody either gets sick or whatever. And hopefully, just on a side note, hopefully everybody got their flu shot. Are there any questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Gardening and horticulture, Roger Dowdy.
The Gardening Committee is excited to announce that Caitlin Bevenar has been hired to join the team, and will be supporting all the gardeners as well as the whole concept of horticulture on our campus. She'll be designing programs and trips for the entire Cedarfield community and support the Garden Committee and the team of Garden Angels. Along that same line, Rose Stutter, many of you know, coordinates all of our Garden Angels. Maybe some of you are Garden Angels. That group of some 30 plus help keep the place, the landscape looking good by watering and deadheading and all of that good stuff that gardeners love to do. And so we want to recognize all our Garden Angels who serve all throughout the year. So there will be a luncheon on November 14th here in the Fellowship Hall for the Garden Angels. And lastly, I want to announce that Jim Fahrenhold and Betty Schwarten have agreed so diligently and readily to produce our 2025 calendar. Some of you know that it used to be the 5x5s in the casing. Last year, I believe the first time was to be a much bigger calendar, easier to read. So that's going to be a feature. Watch for it because it is our fundraiser for the gardens, and that will be available, we hope, as soon as possible in November or so, in time for your Christmas shopping. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Are there any other committees that would like? Yes, Nancy. It's okay. We know where you will the next couple of weeks.
This is the report from the Wellness and Leisure Committee. From our last meeting, there are several items that I think are important to share with the residents. A couple of them are actually in the Informer, but I'm going to reiterate them because I think they're important. First of all, team members will be meeting in November to plan all the activities for Cedarfield for January through June of next year. Please submit any ideas that you have for trips or activities to Catron before November 15th. Another item that was discussed at our meeting and is in the Informer is Catron's team is looking at a new registration system for activities. As you know, we currently have the little insert that's in the Informer that you have to fill out and drop in the box, indicating any activities that you would like to participate in. Based on a resident survey, many residents are asking for an electronic system to be added to the paper system because it would be much easier to do it electronically than on the paper system. The new electronic system is to start in March, and at that time, Catron will have classes on how to access the new system. Do not worry, everyone will be encouraged to use the electronic system, but at least initially there will still be the paper system as well. Those were the two things that are in the Informer that I wanted to highlight. Another topic is our Veterans Recognition Team is exploring the creation of a resident-run group that would consist of veterans, their spouses, and spouses of deceased veterans. The recognition team has gotten together about 60 residents who are interested in discussing the possibility of starting this resident-run group. And they're meeting for dinner on November 7th at the clubhouse to discuss the possibility of starting this group. Please, if you're interested in attending, I believe everybody who is a veteran, a spouse of a veteran, or a spouse of a deceased veteran has been contacted. But if by any chance the team missed you, please reach out, I think, to Pat Sullivan. No?
We have got a wait list right now,
Okay.
just because of the capacity at the clubhouse. We have 70 people, and so we plan, which is on the wait list, if someone's unable to come.
Also, too, if you're not able to be accommodated at the dinner, please reach out to Ted McCormack if you're interested in participating in the group. As you well know, last month we had the Pathways to Wellness Showcase. Catron reported at our meeting that 250 residents and future residents attended the showcase. The feedback from everyone was very good. In addition to the 250 residents and future residents who attended, there were also 30 to 35 team members and residents who, from the Pathways to Wellness Committee here at Cedarfield, worked the event. This event is usually done every 2 years, so it'll be presented again in 2026. And last but not least, there was a question from a committee member regarding problems, I guess, that have come about regarding the movies that are shown on Sunday afternoons, that sometimes there's a sign on the door that the movie isn't being shown, and they wanted an update on that. So the Catron reported that the problem was that the DVDs that she orders of these movies sometimes don't arrive in time. So that is why the movies are canceled. So as a result of that, she and her team are looking into streaming the movies instead, which obviously would negate the problem of getting DVDs delivered through the mail. So look for in the Informer for a follow-up on this. I think that's all I have. So thank you for your attention. Oh, yes, Faith. The what?
Holiday sale. Arts and crafts.
Oh, yeah, it says the holiday sale. I don't have, it's in the Informer. I don't have, pardon? Oh, the question from Faith. Faith's a member of the Wellness and Leisure Committee, and she wanted some information given on the holiday craft sale. Unfortunately, I don't have that in front of me. It wasn't in the Informer. If I can find it in here, I'll relate to that. But I believe, Faith, tell me if I speak if I'm not speaking correctly. It's an annual sale that's done by, it's crafts that have been created by the residents here at Cedarfield. And the sale is done at the holiday time to raise money for the art program here at Cedarfield. And I don't have the dates in front. Do you know when it is, Faith?
It's, November 25th is when it opens, and it opens, I believe, at 12:30 in the afternoon. We're gonna set up in the morning, and then we'll open it on the 25th at 12:30. And it will run through December 16th. We'll take it down on December 16th.
Okay. Faith said that, the sale will start on November the 25th and run through December 16th. And I believe the sale takes place up in the area near the dining room. So, please come and, do some Christmas shopping. It's a great cause because it does support, the arts programs here at Cedarfield. Thank you, Faith. Yep. One more question.
Well, I don't know, Ellen and I haven't talked about this, but I'm gonna tell a secret anyway. Is that all right? We have an artist here who has, hello? I thought it was an earplug or something. We have an artist here who has donated something that he never sells, but it's jewelry that he makes for his wife. And it will probably be sold through an auction. So, not an auction, but a silent auction. So it's very exciting. It's very generous of this person to donate such an item. So, and you can't buy them anywhere, so it'll be really fun. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments regarding wellness and leisure? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Faith.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Is there any new business? I have some. If you are a member, an officer of the Residence Council, a committee chair, or an area rep, and you don't have a Residence Council handbook, hold your hand up for a minute just to see, are any of those people? What we have found, as you may remember, you approved a new set of bylaws for the council back in January, and we needed to make some changes in this book to put in some of those changes that were made in the bylaws. In doing that, with Cheryl and myself, we looked at that, and our two handbooks were not the same. They were different, so I don't know how many there are out there that might be different. So what's going to be happening over the next month or two is Sherilyn is going to be sending you, particularly if you're a committee chair, a copy of the description in the handbook of your committee that hopefully you will share with your committee, and also make any additions or changes that you think are appropriate. Secondly, we're hoping to have a group of maybe several, 2 or 3 or 4 area reps that would agree to look at the area representative portion of that handbook and make those changes. Most everything else in there is pretty straightforward. It's things that Mariah did, list of committee chairs and so forth. So if you will look forward to that in the future. Our next meeting is going to be on November the 20th. That is going to be a combined meeting of November and December. It was usually in the first part of December, but that first week we ran into an issue with having it on the same day or the preparation day for the team party. But read these things about the team party. Think about the things that they've done for you, and be very generous. The last thing I want to mention to you, and this is a Mark Twain thing, age is a issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, doesn't matter. Thank you for coming. May I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Thank you.